Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be talking about Harvard Extension School and what its relationship is to Harvard University. So for those of you who don't know, Harvard Extension School is the continuing education division of Harvard University. In other words, it's a degree granting school within Harvard, the same way that the Kennedy School is, Harvard Business School, Harvard College, the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. You get the idea there. Now, one of the reasons why this school in particular gets a little bit more scrutiny than some of the other schools within Harvard is really the fact that their admission standards are actually quite unique and not necessarily what you would expect from an Ivy League institution. And so, for example, if we look at Harvard College, they'll typically take really strong undergraduate transcripts, really strong SAT scores, extracurricular activities, interviews, and based off of the collective performance on those specific criteria, they'll actually make an admissions decision based off of that. Harvard Extension School operates a little bit differently. They'll typically take the performance of three key courses that are required to be taken before somebody applies to be admitted into the program, and based on their performance on those three courses, an admissions decision will be made based off of that. That's actually very different from what you would expect from almost any other undergraduate program that you can perhaps apply to, and particularly from an Ivy League institution like Harvard, it definitely does come as a surprise to some people when they see this specific program. And so a lot of people typically wonder whether or not it's even something that's under the Harvard University umbrella. Now, it still is a degree granting school, as I mentioned, and Harvard does an amazing job at actually bridging the gap between continuing education students and some of the students that are attending some of the other colleges within the actual university. One example of this is actually through their summer intensive program. So, Harvard Extension School currently offers two degree tracks. They offer the Bachelor of Liberal Arts and Extension Studies in a specialization, which is one of the specializations that they list on their website, and then a Master of Liberal Arts and Extension Studies with a specialization in one of the fields of study that's also listed on their website as well. Now, as of right now, there are no degrees through the extension school that can be obtained completely through distance education or through online study. So this will require students for a brief period of time to actually come to Cambridge and pursue one of the actual programs through taking a few courses that are on campus. And then going back to the summer school sessions that I was referring to earlier, the summer school sessions are great because they offer students the ability to take a course in a confined amount of time, typically during the summer, but I believe there's also another cohort in January as well. And a lot of the extension students can take courses here, but they'll also take the courses in the summer intensive programs with students who are in other schools within Harvard University as well. This is an amazing opportunity for people to not only network with people in other programs or people who are living on campus who might have different experiences as them, but it gives them the opportunity to experience campus life as though they are a full-time student at Harvard. This is really awesome because many other continuing education divisions of many other universities are completely separate and there isn't really any integration with full-time students as well. Now, is this program something that's worth it? Well, this is something that's going to differ from person to person. The great thing about the extension school is really the fact that it's tailored to people who might not otherwise be able to obtain a university degree, and specifically a university degree at an institution like Harvard. So an example of this is somebody who might be a full-time parent, or they might live across the country, and might not be able to relocate for whatever other reasons that they might have, or they might have a full-time job that they just can't leave. And so this gives them the opportunity to pursue at least part of their degree online and then complete it through some of the in-class components as well. The other opportunity here is really the fact that if people have intellectual curiosities in some fields that might not necessarily be very lucrative, and so maybe they're working in insurance as an example, but they've always been interested in history and they'd love to pursue a degree in history, it obviously wouldn't make sense to them to leave their job and pursue that on a full-time basis. They don't necessarily have any intentions of ever leaving that job. Well, this gives them the opportunity to still pursue a degree that they might not have been able to do earlier in their life at a world-class institution, again, and not having to sacrifice tons of money to do so and having to leave their job and leave their family and relocate across the country. So it's definitely an option for people who fall in that category. It's also awesome for people who happen to be in a field where they happen to get there through working up the chain, so to speak, or they started off in a lower level position and find themselves now in a position where they require an advanced set of skills that they just haven't been able to obtain earlier in their life. This gives them the opportunity to upgrade some of their skills or perhaps take additional courses before they even get admitted into the program to see whether or not this is something that's actually going to make sense for them in their career going forward. Now, one of the interesting things about the extension school is really the fact that regardless of what fields of study people do study for, all of the degree programs fall within the Bachelor of Liberal Arts and Extension Studies or a Master of Liberal Arts and Extension Studies. And so this is a key distinction here, and a lot of people get confused at this point, particularly because a lot of the fields of studies in the Extension School has a lot of crossover with a lot of the other degree granting schools within Harvard. And so a lot of people wonder what's the distinction between studying history at the Extension School versus studying history at Harvard College or the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences. Well, there's actually a couple things here. One of the things is that extension schools should absolutely wear their extension school status as a badge of honor. I think that it's extremely honorable to be maybe employed full time or living across the country or taking care of a sick relative while still being able to attend school, either even on a part time basis at a world class institution. So it's definitely something that people shouldn't shy away from. But the other thing as well is really the fact that the extension school isn't necessarily always going to be taught by full-time faculty at Harvard. There might be some courses that are taught by full-time faculty, or maybe even through the intensive sessions during the summer or through the January session as well. But there are going to be some courses that are going to be taught by either industry professionals who happen to live in the Cambridge area, or other people who are working in other universities around the Harvard University area. So it actually gives you an opportunity to not only experience what it's like to take courses from full-time faculty at Harvard, but also to get the really important knowledge from industry professionals, other professors at other universities, and just be able to network with people from all over the world, which is really something that's really beneficial from the program. Now, going back to, is this something that's worth it for you? This really does depend on the situation, as I mentioned. But another thing to really consider about this program is really the fact that, are you looking to use this program as a stepping stone to further education in the future? So a lot of people seem to think that they can go to the extension school and perhaps take a few courses there and then transfer to another school within Harvard. I don't think that people's intentions are in the right place if this is their intention of going into the program. I think that the program itself is very distinct, and I think that Harvard does an amazing job at creating an experience that's very comparable to what people would experience in some of the other schools within Harvard, and of course world class amongst the continuing education division, that's for sure. However, I think that if people are attending the program, they should have their intentions in place and actually be pursuing it because they're intellectually curious about the information that they're learning. Also, I think that they should not only look at the programs in terms of what they can get out of it, but more so look at what they can actually contribute to the class as well. As you might know, courses at an institution like Harvard are not necessarily just beneficial because of the instruction that you'll be receiving from the course, but more so because of the classmates that you'll be interacting with and what they can actually offer to the class experience as well. And this is really what sets Harvard apart from some other institutions as well. And so overall, if you have any experiences with Harvard Extension School, or if you've ever attended or know anyone who's attended, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. If you have any specific questions that I can answer, I'd be more than happy to try my best at doing that. So again, leave those in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.